Hello, welcome to my channel, Modern Sapien. It's been a minute, but I have some great news. I got a comment on one of my videos, and that individual ended up reaching out to me on Instagram to really make sure that I saw it so I can answer their questions. And I love that because they're super tactical questions, and they're the exact same ones I had when I was going through the same thing. So I'm going to pull it up here and show you, and then we'll go through them. I'm wearing my glasses. This isn't for show because they look a little ridiculous, but they help a lot with eye strain, especially if you're staring at a computer screen for 3 hours plus a day. So I'll be wearing these during the video. Don't mind me. So let me pull up that comment and we'll go through it. All right, so this was on a video I recorded, 6 months ago, called I Stopped Doing Everything Myself. Here's what changed. I was bald back then. Now I have hair. But anyway, the important thing um, is this one here. I wish I had markers, but I don't. So Keepers Lawn Care asks, Ephraim, where did you find your VA? Did she receive inbound calls? Does she provide estimates over the phone? If you do that at all, thanks for your video. You're so badass. I'm trying to find a VA myself, and there's a lot of different options and companies to navigate. And I 100% agree with you. It's so easy to get paralyzed by the infinite amount of options you could go down. And it's almost like you're hesitant to start because you don't even know if these next 10 hours you're going to spend trying to figure something out is even going to be worth anything. So I totally get that. So we're going to go over these questions one by one. All right, I'm going to switch over to my thing here. That's weird. Present, and there we go. Oh, is it working? There we go. All right. Questions from Keepers Lawn Care. I love technology. All right, so let's go to the first one. Where did I find my VA? This picture is of our first meeting, and I don't know nothing about anything, and I was able to figure it out. So if I can figure it out, you can as well. For a long time, I had been hearing about virtual assistants, but I didn't understand what that meant. What I needed at the time was just someone to get some of these recurring tasks off of my shoulders and out of my mind, even though they're simple, like emails, responding to questions, answering phone calls, or not. Let me take that back. Not answering phone calls, answering consultation emails, basic like troubleshooting things with clients. They're simple things, but because it was never turned off in my mind, I couldn't really gain any traction on me working on something else. And it caused me to grow and not, it caused me not to grow and stall my development in business. So one of my biggest things when I was looking for an assistant or an office personnel was to tackle those things. Now, I don't have the means or the funds to have an in-person um, admin personnel for mainly two reasons: no money, and also this isn't really an office. An office. This is my parents' house in my old bedroom, so I didn't. It didn't feel professional enough to have a hire someone in person to do a kind of a bundle of tasks that wasn't a full 8-hour job yet. And anyway, when I started hearing about virtual assistants, I was like, that sounds perfect, but I didn't understand. It wasn't until I joined an online school community called Owner Ops, led by Austin Gray. And he talked, what really caught my attention was he was talking about virtual assistants and how he was actively using them in his business. And that, excuse me, that automatically got me to start paying attention. I got to a point where I started communicating with him one on one, and he really just shared all this information with me. They didn't try to gatekeep anything, which was a nice. It was a breath of fresh air. And essentially, I took what I could put together and just tried it. And so far, so good. It's been over 6 months now, and we've been doing great. Dani here is from the Philippines, and she's been taking care of all these roles that I was talking about, mostly being customer service related. But now, recently, just 2 days ago, I've been training her up over this last 2 weeks to now take over timesheets tracking and sending out bi-weekly payroll. So now that's me. This is off my shoulders and onto hers so I can focus on other things. So it's been developing over time. So let's bring it back a little bit. Where did I find my VA? Just how here in the United States we have Indeed, which is probably the biggest platform for hiring. I used OnlinePH. It's essentially like a Indeed version, but for the Philippines. I'm assuming Philippines only. I think there are different variations and variations of this platform for different countries or continents or whatever. But this one specifically was PH. Why Philippines? It was just because Austin Gray used it and it was helping and it was working out for him. So I decided to give it a try, and it worked for me. So now, since it worked, I didn't continue looking for other platforms, and that's why I'm going to tell you what I did because I don't have experience using other ones. There are other ones, as you know, but this is the one I have had experience with. And let me actually show you the website. So hopefully you can still see my stuff. Here we go. So this is OnlinePH.com or OnlineJobs.ph. And I haven't logged in a while, but here is my post. So I had one post, I had 1,300 hits, 20 total applicants, and I went ahead and interviewed all of them and found Dani. She stood out almost immediately. So I made a great decision hiring her. But let me just show you what I mean. Like I said, it's very similar to Indeed. It's just you're going to try to figure out all this stuff first, and then just a basic general description about yourself, what the role, some key responsibilities. So here I put, invoicing and was a big one, and following up on them, like almost being an accounts receivable manager for us has been super helpful. Tools that you'll use. So we use Jobber primarily. That we run our system out of that, our company out of that. Gmail and Google Drive. What we offer, and then how to apply. Take a pause right now and write this down. When you put this together and you post it, you're going to get a ton of applicants. A ton. Through here, through email. I got like 50. It says 20, but I probably got 50 because some people started emailing me directly and skipping the platform. And it was overwhelming, to be honest. And I got this key trick from Austin Gray, which she got from someone else, but it's all free game for everybody. Include this in your resume to help you narrow down who can follow simple instructions. In your resume, provide a short Loom video, 2 to 3 minutes, introducing yourself and showing some of your Jobber experience. And that, for me, that was one of the requirements to be familiar with Jobber. I found that completely just cut my hiring time in more than half. Because out of, let's say, 50 applicants, 20 maybe provided, I think 20 provided a video, meaning the other 30 didn't even get to this point and didn't even care to read it all. Meaning for me, then I don't care to hire you. And it's not like a mean thing. It's just if you can't follow a basic rule or a rule instruction, how can I delegate customer management to you? How can I delegate invoices to you? How can I delegate now payroll to you? Absolutely not. If you can't follow a simple instruction, I cannot delegate these things to you and have peace of mind. Hell no. So if you take anything out of this video that provide this extra layer of applicant qualification to really narrow down your applicant list, because you'll find out that some people didn't even read the application; they just applied because whatever, because the money or whatnot. So, just wanted to touch base on that. Let's go back to here. All right. So again, where do I find my VA? OnlineJobs.ph, and it's the same platform as Indeed. You put together a post, you publish it, everybody sees it, and you'll get applicants, and you just go through the funnel of your hiring process. All right, so next. This is fun, dude. Thanks for the question. Does she receive inbound calls? Well, it's going to depend on what your setup is. Can the virtual assistant receive calls? Yes, they can. Now, I think a better question is, are we set up to do that? Like I mentioned, I use Jobber. Jobber does have, depending on the plan, a text and number option, and also rely heavily on your virtual assistant on how they have been working or doing something like this in the past for other companies. I found that Dani has a lot of experience in the admin role for other companies that aren't in the Philippines. I think Australia was the previous one. So I've actually asked her how she does certain things, and she already has a workflow that she's able to just copy paste for us. So does she receive calls? For us, no. But she does receive the emails and text messages through Jobber, which she has access to and can apply if applicable. If she needed to call, she can. She has offered that because she already has whatever workflow that she uses or has used in the past to do so. So it's really going to depend on what you expect of the virtual assistant. All right, next. Can she provide estimates over the phone? So where I go to automatically is, do you want them to? What I mean by that is, I'll just speak from experience. I've been in business about 8 years now, and I just realized what I'm offering my clients after 8 years. My offer wasn't really there yet. I kind of had an idea, and we did kind of not miscellaneous jobs, but I just didn't have my offer consolidated and concrete. So if I am still figuring it out, how am I going to have a virtual assistant from the Philippines try to make sales calls, or not sales calls, estimates? But all right, let's say I created the quote, and now I'm like, hey, Dani, here's the quote. Go call the client and have them do it. Same thing. If the client's like, hey, I see you charged compost, what is that? Dani has absolutely no experience in landscaping in Central Texas. She lives in the Philippines, which is by the ocean. Completely different environment, completely different plants. Could we train them up? Yes, we could. But the sales process of a business is so crucial. And so I think one of the last things I believe an owner should delegate, that it's just not even on my mind. I'm just how I was trying to figure out my offer. I'm still working with and trying to figure out my sales. I don't want to kind of funnel with my sales process. And I consider reviewing the estimate with the client as part of that process. Now, can they do it? Yes. Do I personally want them to? No, not right now until I can better manage it and I have a better workflow that I have a template that I can provide to Dani that she could use and learn from over time. But great question. I often hear a lot of people wanting to delegate sales, and I just never understood that because it's at a big enough size. I guess you have some margin for error, and I guess it doesn't matter. But when you're small, like most of the companies are, it, it's just I don't think you can, and I don't think you should. Now, who am I? I'm just some guy. All right, next. Now, the last one was where to start, and as Metallica's song says, "Jump in the fire." Dun, 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 dun. I should have played it right now. Yeah, just jump in. You're right. There are a lot of platforms. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. There's Philippines, there's South America, there's this, there's that, there's blah blah. Yeah, but just pick one and start because you're going to learn from each try, each, and you'll iterate it and tweak it as you go. So if you want somewhere to start, start there with OnlineJobs.ph, and you'll learn from just doing the reps. If you know somebody or you've seen somebody online that has used a different platform, then ask them about their process and see if maybe it makes more sense to do it that way. The idea here is to just start and jump into it. So that's it. Um, Mr. Lawn Care Guy, what was your name? Damn, I forgot. I'm sorry. Mr. Keeper's Lawn Care. That's going to be it. I hope that answers your question. And keep them coming. This is exactly why I wanted to start a channel so I can literally make videos replying to comments. So that's perfect. That's all I got. All right. Bye. Okay. Bye. Bye.